Hello, all. Welcome to lesson two for foundational Greek. And what we're going to be going through today is nouns. Nouns, nouns, and the question is, what is a noun? A noun is a person, place, or thing. However, there's rules that govern how nouns form part of a meaningful sentence in any language. In the days for Greek, cases, and also in English, cases show how nouns and adjectives form in a sentence for the most part. And for Greek, it's independent of word order. In Greek, there are 5 cases that we'll be learning. And, and with these cases, we'll also be learning the cases and the morphology. And these cases are as follows: the nominative, the genitive, the dative, the accusative, and the vocative. And so let's get to it. And let's start with English syntax. In English, we have the subjects, which the subject is the person or thing that performs the action and of an active verb. And in these two sentences, it is Jesus who walks into the temple, which is the subject. And the subjects for the second sentence of David wages war to Palestine is David. And in Greek, it is the nominative case, which marks the subject. Now, for the direct object, it is the noun which receives the action of an active or of an active verb. And these two sentences, Moses picks up his staff, and God casts Satan down from heaven. The direct objects in these two sentences are staff and Satan, respectively. And in Greek, it is the accusative. It is the accusative case which marks the object. Now for indirect objects. Indirect object is a person or thing in whose interest the action is performed. Or in a sentence, one, Bob offers Joel a gift, which a data parentheses Bob offers a gift to Joel. What we may notice is that Joel gifts could either be indirect objects. Like I can make this a to Joel gift. To Joel gift. So Joel here is the indirect object. Now the second one, Hephaestus makes Achilles a shield. Well, Achilles is the indirect object because Hephaestus is not making Achilles, but he's making a shield for Achilles. Now for number 3, Bartholomew gives his teacher gifts. Bartholomew is not giving his teacher, but he gives to his teacher gifts. Last but not least, so is this area. The priest goes in the house. And since the preposition of in is there, it indicates the house is the indirect object. In English, usually indirect objects are usually implicit, like the first 3 examples, are more explicit as you see it in these parentheses. These at the end, and usually indirect objects are usually supplemented by these prepositions. By the prepositions to, for, in, or even into, oh, and in Greek, the indirect, the dative case marks the indirect object. Now for position, English often indicates position with of or apostrophes, like such as the city of God or God's law. In Greek, the genitive case, that's case marks the possession. And the two examples below, David slays Goliath at Gath. Goliath is the direct object, but the of Gath, this clause of Gath at the end, is the possession, and or genitive in Greek. And Jesus' disciples pray to God. In this sentence, is the apostrophe of possession, so Jesus would be the genitive. And the address, the English indicates who or what is being addressed by saying it off with commas. The vocative case indicates who is being addressed in Greek and is set off with commas as of in English. The particle "o" sometimes precedes the noun in this case, such as "Oh Lord," "Oh my Lord," or but anyhow, underline the words that will be the case. Lord, forgive my debts. So we'll highlight that. I bid you, Peter, to take up the cross. And Peter here is being used as evocative here. Now, since you know all of the cases, the nominative, the genitive, the accusative, and the dative, if you start with morphology of these words, and Greek nouns have endings that mark these cases, which is why Greek doesn't care about word order as much as English. And in Greek, there are 3 different noun declensions or patterns of ending. In the second declension, there is 1 type of masculine noun, 1 type of neuter noun, and 1 type of feminine noun. And we'll be starting off with masculine. And with the word logos, which is word. And then now in the case of logos, let's switch to Greek. I'm actually pasted on the top of here because you find definition of words. They will always have the nominative as the first word, and then they'll have this parentheses here, which is the genitive, which indicates how's the noun declining, and then it has the article, which is the gender of the word. So for the nominative case, masculine nouns of the second declension, end as the following: logos. And for the genitive, if it has as the ending, which follows logu. That's annoying that they're trying to automatically cap the words. And the dative is going to be a little tricky to type in Greek, but it should be logo. No. There we go. Logo. Notice in the bottom here, there's this little mark this little mini iota mark in the bottom. And that there's like this is supposed to be in older Greek. This used to be the dative form of the iota would be formed as this, but since the iota started to not be pronounced in history, purge the iota has been tucked into the bottom of the words to indicate that they've been declined in such a fashion. But anywho, and then for the accusative, it will be logon. And the vocative will be loge. And you may notice all of these are in the singular. So in Greek there are words are formed in singular nouns and in plural nouns. And in English it'll be adding a s at the end, but in Greek, since the cases are highly morphed, depending on the role of the sentence, these also get translated to the plural. So the plural for logos is logoi. While the genitive would be logon. No. There we go. Oh, the dative will be logos. Why don't autocap? And the dative would be logos. Well, actually, this would be, would it be? Yeah, that won't be a bad issue. And logos. No. There we go. And the vocative will be the same as the vocative will be same as the nominative, the logoi. This is, as I see by this word at the beginning, this is the standard. This is standard to less vocabulary in a Greek lexicon by giving the nominative form, the genitive ending, and the singular nominative definite article. Well, this reveals what declension paradigm and what gender a noun is. Or what kind of declension paradigm and what gender the said noun is. Now, since you have the masculine nouns for second declension, now let's introduce the article. The definite article in English is the. In Greek, the definite article changes from according to case, number, and gender of the noun. And we'll be writing out the masculine forms of the definite article in this lecture. One note to have: when you see a definite article in a Greek sentence, do not assume that you should include, quote, the in the translation. Greek uses the in more ways than English does. For example, we do not translate Ho Jesus to the Jesus, but Jesus. So for the masculine, the easiest way to remember this is that we take all these words, we copy these, we paste this, and for most of the words, we virtually delete this ending and add a tau. So let's start with the nominative. Usually the nominatives are the exception to this case. So it'd be no. It will be da 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 da. Ho. To. To. And ton. And vocative does not have a. Vocative does not have a definite article. So let's delete this too. So, and for the plural, it will be hoi. Let's see. Hoi, ton, tois, and tus. Now since we just learned about the masculine definite article, now let's get to the second scenario of second declension nouns, which are the neuter. All right, and we'll be declining ergon work. So the nominative be ergon. The genitive will be ergu. Ergu. Dative will be, let's see if I could get this right. Ergo and ergon and erge. And for the plural, it will be erga, ergon, ergois, and erga. And erga. What's very interesting about the neuter second declension is, or for neuter, or as you may notice, is that actually this should be yes. There we go. We got that right. Notice that the nominative case, the accusative case, and the vocative forms that which differ from the nouns we have already learned from logos. In the Thasic, this rule applies for neuter nouns. The nominative and accusative singular of the nominative and accusative singular and plural forms of every neuter noun are the same. And what are the neuter definite articles? Well, we could do the same thing as you just did for logos. Copy, paste, and overall, we just delete the ending and just add tau. But as you may notice, the This any will be easily confused with the masculine accusative, which we just typed earlier on. So the Greeks will not confuse this, they'll just get rid of the new to make it toe. But for the genitive, to, and nothing. And nothing for that. Be ta, ton, tois, and ta. And in the days ago overall, the main question is how do you know whether a neutive is a subject or an object of the sentence? And the simple answer is context. All right. And for feminine second declension nouns will be declining hodos, which is road. And the daisic nominative is hodos. Hodos. And then no. Hodu. Hodo. Hold on. And whole day. And in these, as you may notice, second declension feminine nouns are very easy to second declension because they're virtually the same as masculine nouns. So with this, the plural of hodos will be holdoi, holdon, holdois, holdois, holdus, and holdoi. That was very obvious that we don't pre the roads or use the vocative for O roads. So, or O road. Though, I don't know. Whatever you feel, guys. But anywho, the main question is, what is the definite article for these feminine nouns hodos? And in order for us to learn that, we have to learn the first declension. And in the first declension, there are 4 types of first declension. These 4 types of form which all crumble up or sum up in the first declension. And in the first word that would be learning for first declension is phone, voice. So for the nominative, you phone. Okay, for the genitive is phones, phone, and for the dative, it will be phone, and for the accusative, it'd be phonen. And the vocative will be vone. Let me get set quickly. I'll be right back. I want to double check on something quickly. Good, I didn't screw the vocative. All right, so now for the plural, it's phone, phonon, phones. Actually, this should be no, that's good. Fullness. And fullness. Us and vocative would be nay. All right. All right. So overall, a very different formation than the second declension, the first declension surely is. And now, what are the definite articles? All right, we'll be doing the same cheat sheet as. All right, we'll be doing the same pro gamer move as we did last time. So copy this, paste all of this, delete that, and this will become he. Actually, this should be fullness. This test te 10 and blank. Well, for the plural, it will be high tone taste tas and blank. All right, and the things, guys, you may notice, like for all of the nouns that we learn, the genitive plural always has the same ending, in regardless. All right, so overall we learned that indefinite articles are the first type of first declension, the eta type on nouns. But for the first declension, there are 3 more types of nouns. And the first ones we'll be learning is feminine nouns that have alpha endings. And these alpha endings will be after epsilon, iota, or rho. And for example, we'll be using oikia, house. And notice the ending, it ends with an iota. So if it ends with the iota, is declined as follows. Oikia, oikias, oikie. Let's see. Nope. How do I do this? Ah, come on. All right. Technical difficulties. All right. We need to go. How do we type this again? Ah, there we go. There we go. And then the accusative, oikion, and oikia. And for the plural, oikie, oiki, on, oikies, and oiki, us, and oikie. And the basic one thing to notice there is that the genitive singular and the accusative plural have the same endings. And that they is like, if you find this little conundrum when reading the text or thinking or trying to do a word sound on the word, context is very important. A lot of looking at the definitive articles. Now for type 3, first declension nouns, alpha endings without epsilon, iota, or rho. And the word we'll be using is doxa. And that should be doxa. Well, glory would translate as gloria or opinion. And overall, just like any other alpha noun, it starts out with an alpha. But then somehow an eta appears. But then a wild eta appears, which declines both the genitive and the data versions of, or the data forms of these nouns. So, doxe and doxan and doxa, and just like all the other feminine nouns, we doxe, doxon, doxon, doxois, now doxais, and doxus, and doxe for vocative. If on type 2 and type 3 are relatively important when declining due to this silly rule over here. The other things, as you may know, as I said earlier, all of the plural endings for these nouns are the same. Now let's go to the masculine first declension, which is a bit weird because it's a first declension, but since it's masculine, it has a little bit of an identity crisis. So, and we'll be declining the word mathites for student or disciple. So the nominative would be mathites. Yes, and this is where the first declension borrows from the second declension. So the genitive will be mathitu, but then suddenly goes back to the first declension as mathite, and then with mathiten. And the vocative is mathita. One note that I need to at least add here is that the vocative, let's get this in English. The vocative of masculine is a little bit arbitrary. Some words have a eta ending, while others a alpha ending. Have an alpha ending. What others have an alpha ending. Do not worry about this. We'll rarely see the vocative in the masculine first declension. And the dasic for the plural, it's actually simple. Since it's the same, since the plural for first declensions is always the same. So we'll do matite. Nope, no English. Matite. Matitol. Matiton. Mati. Matites. Matitas. am at the day. And that is all of the declensions we'll be learning for today. So we learned the first declension and both masculine, neuter, and feminine. We learned the first declension, and for the edit type, first declensions, the alpha ending, the type 2 first declensions, the type 3 first declensions, and the masculine first declensions. And but right before we go a little more into detail on the syntax of these declensions, I'll just be doing a little bit of a reference. The third declension here, third declension is a total mess, so we're not be going through this today. But overall, if you find any words that have endings like this, S, it's very likely third declension. And the reason third declension is a little bit like hell is that you find a noun, such as like fire, such as purred, but how do you do the genitive? Oh, okay, let's follow this. It's purdos. But this is not always the case. Sometimes you will find even more strange nouns, such as sarx. Sarx. But what's the genitive of it? Is it sarxos? Oh no, it's not that, it's sarcos. And the thing's like, what's going on here? And what's going on here is that sarx is actually there's actually a secret sigma is going behind the K, which when the kappa and the sigma sound gets together, it's a x. So we get the xi instead of the kappa sigma. But no worries about that. That's just for vocabulary, just in case you find those said words. Hurts, and in the days like last but not least, in the last 2 pages is purge the overall case uses is which all of these Greek nouns are used in the New Testament. And in the days like overall, it'll be great for everyone in this class to look over this. So look over this and and go through each of the examples here. And in this last page, I actually made some notes for some of the cases which sound confusing. And one of them is nominative apposition. And nominative apposition is used for describing a noun. While for predicate nominative, simply put, it's a nominative which is used as a direct object. And overall, there's some guidelines to know because this is not easy. This can be this is indicated when there are nominatives in between a verb. The nominative without the definite article is the objects, while the nominative with the definite article is the subjects. No. If both the nominatives have articles, the first nominative of the sentences is the subject. This also indicates these nominatives can be interchangeable. And in the basic below, I gave a bunch of examples. Well, here of a bunch of nominative cases of which they're translating. And then the last one, which is difficult, is subject or object genitive. And it's very tricky and define it, but is defined as the following in textbooks. The genitive is an agent of a verbal process. It is labeled as a subjunctive. Subject. subject genitive, while the genitive is the object or patient of the verbal processes. You can label it as an objective. Subjective genitive or an objective genitive. All right. So overall, this is what we'll be learning for the next few weeks, which would be an introduction to nouns. And in this worksheet, we give you all the ammunition you need to get started in studying Greek nouns. In the days of the coming office hours, we'll be going through this worksheet. We'll also be going through text examples in scripture. At the same time, I'll be posting additional practice for this. So let me switch the share here, which was a previous worksheet which I was planning to do, but since it looks like a total pain to sign it, everyone, I just made this additional practice for anyone who wishes to practice more on the noun cases. On top of that, I also found and Memorize an app which actually helps review all the declensions. So overall, I'll be posting that on the GroupMe, the link to the Memorize version of that, which I hope you get practice on the cases of those said nouns.